get 5. Check me on the math, people. And so then I can do 1 plus -2 plus 4 plus a -3, and then plus a 4. And there I get a 9. Okay, then I do, and now I'm going to stop putting the plus signs in between them. I'm just going to list them out. So I get 1, -2, 5, 4, -3, 4, and then a -3 gives me 6. Then a 1, a -2, a 5, a 4, a -3, a 4, a -3, a 2 gives me an 8, I think. And that was when we started, the whole shebang was an 8. Okay. Well, what was the maximum? Oh, I didn't do this as I was going through. But what I do is, oh, here, that's the front runner. And I get to 8. Oh, 8's the front runner. So mine, I would like tag and save. Okay, that's the biggest one I've seen so far. That's an 8. If I get to 5, forget it. I don't want 5. Oh, 9. 9's my new front runner. And so I would save the from and the to and the maximum interval for this and say, okay, that's the biggest one I have seen so far. I'm going to mark it and save my start and my stop for that interval. And I get to 6, nah, I've seen something bigger. Get to 8, nah, I've seen something bigger. Okay, so now I can start at the -2. -2 gives me -2. Then I can have -2 plus 5, and that gives me 3. -2 plus 5 plus 4 gives me 7. And none of these are bigger than my element, and then the maximum I've seen so far, which was 9. And -2, 5. Then -2 plus 5 plus 4 minus 3 gives me 4. And then -2, 5, 4, -3, 4 gives me 8. Is that right? 8? Yep. And then -2, then 5, 4, -3, 4, -3 gives me 5. And then I've got the whole thing starting at -2. So -2 through 2, and that gives me 7. Okay. All right, well, I had one less to do here, so you can see that it's getting a little bit easier. When I go on and on and on, every class that I've got, every one that starts with the 0th element, starts with the 1 element, I'm going to have one less sum to do. Yes?
Wouldn't you theoretically be able to, I mean, there's a couple things, but the simplest one first, wouldn't you be able to theoretically skip when it starts with a negative number, because it's just, you're leaving out a positive, so it's just going to be smaller.
So that is an optimization. Okay? Doesn't change the algorithm, but we can optimize the algorithm, and we could say, oh, a maximum interval is never going to start or stop with a negative number. Why? We kick that one out, and it's going to be a larger number. So we can always skip anything that starts with a negative number. We just hop over that one. So that would be an optimization. However, the algorithm stays the same. So that would be like we go out. And yes, indeed, we wouldn't want to necessarily start with it. And our ultimate value was 10, right? 10. That's going to happen here when we get the -2 out of there. We don't want the -2 in there, so we don't even start with the -2. But let's do one more. So I can do a 5, gives me 5. A 5 plus 4 gives me 9. Oh, I've matched my we're just asking for what the maximum interval is. There could be other ones that tie. We're just saying 9. 9 is the maximum sum of the intervals. Then 5 plus 4 minus 3 gives me 6. 5 plus 4 minus 3 plus 4 gives me 10. Oh, there's my new one. Okay, then I do 5 plus 4 minus 3 plus 4 minus 3 gives me 7. Nope. And 5 plus 4 minus 3 plus 4 minus 3 plus 2 gives me 9. Close, but no cigar. And so I would continue going on with this, but I would have found this is my maximum subinterval. And so that's the one. All right, so what am I doing? First of all, I am then iterating over every element. So my outer for loop is going to be the outer for loop is going to start at the 0th element. It's going to do all that. Then it's going to go to the 1th element. It's going to do all this. What does it do in that? Well, within the for loop, in the inner for loop, it starts at the element, and then it goes up to it goes up to 2, then it goes up to -2, then it goes up to 5, then it goes up to 4, then it goes up to 3, then it goes up to 4 again, -3. So what that does is it starts and it chooses it's going to go towards the next element. But there is a third loop here. And the third loop is you're going to have to sum all of these up. So that's going to be a loop where you have to then go from those two places and then add up those numbers each time to get the sum for that. So it wasn't just enough to write all of these down. I actually had to do the work of calculating this. So that's going to be a third loop. Okay? And here it comes into play where we are not going 0 to n, 0 to n, 0 to n on 3 nested for loops. We're going 0 to n, then 0 to I, then I to j in those the 3 for loops. Okay? But still, it's in order n cubed. So all of this, doing this, is going to be order n cubed. Now this is really easy to write. It's really easy to write this, and you probably could get this fired up and going without much problem. It's just a triply nested for loop. There is an optimization, though, that we could take advantage of. Yes? Oh, okay. There's an optimization, and I was doing it up on the board, trying to impress you, trying to seem very cool, and being very cool, may I say. But there's an optimization for this. When I go through here, 1 plus -2 plus 5 plus 4, and I do this whole sum, there's a shortcut. So doing it brute force, that's an order n cubed, but there then is a optimization, but not an optimization to the algorithm. It's a jump to a whole new family. And that is getting rid of the innermost for loop by exploiting this. If I know that my sum last time was an 8, and I'm going to add in a -3 to it, I don't have to calculate all of this again. I just have to do 8 minus 3. Because that, I already know. I already added that up. That is 8. So I don't have to calculate that again. All I have to take is my old sum and then add it to the new element that I find in the list. So 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. 3 plus 4 is 7. 8 minus 3 is 5. Where is it? 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. So you don't have to do that whole sum. And if I do that, then I can get to an order n squared. And on both of those, I can still use the trick that you had mentioned about the don't stop on a negative number. Don't start on a negative number, don't stop on a negative number for that. All right, so that is your in-class exercise for today. It is going to be implement the first algorithm, brute force algorithm, the 3 nested for loops, and calculate then the maximum interval. Then the next stage is optimize it. After that, then you're going to tweak it out and run it for different amounts of input sizes and say, well, how is this growing as far as the time related to the input sizes? I think you need new partners this week, right? should be new. Alright, so Mikey and Noah, Noah's not here. Noah's not here, so who's Xander? So Mikey and Xander, you guys are together.